Hey, ladies, welcome to all my UMBWs, which stands for Upwardly Mobile Black Women. Welcome to Money Monday. And tonight's conversation is not going to be long because I have just a few things to talk about this evening with regards to a couple of topics, hot topics. Uh, I am going to put our 90-second clock on, and we are going to then talk about this statue of a Black woman in New York and the polarization that has happened around this thing. We're going to talk about it from a UMBW point of view. And I also want to make a comment about Shiloh Hendricks and Karmelo Anthony. I am going to put on our 90-second clock, give people a chance to come in, hit the like button, and put replay in the comments if you're listening to the replay. Here's our 90-second clock, and then we'll be back to talk about these couple of hot topics. Here we go. Welcome to Black Women Making Money. We are the home of the upwardly mobile Black woman. For exclusive content and invitations to our Inner Circle Zoom meetings, which happen on a monthly basis, you can sign up for free for our email newsletter at bwmakingmoney.com. That's bwmakingmoney.com. Hello, ladies, UMBWs. Thank you so much for being here this evening. As I had mentioned before, UMBW stands for Upwardly Mobile Black Woman. I am Cherie, and I am the content creator here to talk to all of my upwardly mobile Black women. And of course, a UMBW is a woman who either is at the top 20% of the economic profile in the United States, meaning that you're making, I'd say over 150,000 a year is the new numbers, or you're actively working to get there. So put a one in the chat, or better yet, put UMBW in the chat. Let me know if I am coming through loud and clear. So tonight I want to talk about a couple of controversial things, and I am going to admit that I don't do huge breakdowns on this channel, especially these topics because I'm tired and, all of that stuff. These topics have been floating around. They've been very viral over the past few days. So I'm going to talk about these from my perspective as a UMBW. I'm going to make some suggestions to you as UMBWs yourselves. We can have a conversation about these things. And then your girl is going to enjoy the rest of her evening. The two conversations we're going to have tonight, number one is about the statue of the Black woman in New York Times Square and all the kerfuffle that has come from it. I have a theory about this, And I also have a theory about the Shiloh Hendricks Carmelo Anthony thing. Again, we're not going to do a huge breakdown of these stories, but basically, I will show you a couple of things and hopefully they will trigger you to know what we're talking about. And then there's a whole lot of other content creators that'll give you full breakdowns with regards to what's happening with both of these things. So, AP has put her UNBW in, and so is Tat Bravo. Hello, hello, ladies. Hello. Alrighty then, let's talk about this here. If you were unaware, in Times Square, in New York Times Square, there is now a bronze statue of a black woman, an ambiguous black woman. She's standing there with her hands on her hips. She's got her braids on. She has, in my opinion, um, she's not, doesn't have like a real expression to her. She's just sitting there staring, maybe thinking, whatever she's thinking, right? She is overweight. Some people said she looks like she doesn't have a bra on. Of course, there's a lot of controversy about the person who created this sculpture and the fact that he is a biracial man with a black mother and he's from the UK and all of this stuff. And the comments about this have been vicious. And then the people who are defending this have been pretty staunch about defending it as well. Of course, a lot of the conservatives have gotten a hold of this. Now, I will say this one thing here. Fox News says that, and other people have been reporting that this is a contrast to the two white men whose statues are already in Times Square. I did not hear the sculptor say that. I didn't hear the committee say that. Doesn't mean they didn't. I just don't know, right? But I will say, as a UMBW, that this specific story, this specific controversy is a huge, huge distraction. I said it. I said it. This story is a huge, huge distraction. So Flo Jersey is in the house saying good evening, and Kat is saying she missed the story. Okay, so Kat, I basically gave you the story in a couple of nutshells, but the vitriol that people have and the negativity that people have shared, both black and white, I haven't seen any other ethnicities do it, but black men, black women, white men, white women have shared about this thing have been atrocious. Everything from she looks like a baby mama, she looks like an angry black woman, she looks like some woman with 5 kids from 6 different men and an EBT card. She looks like a busted Queen Latifah. Usually statues are created of people who have done great things, and this is somebody who is mediocre, and why are we applauding mediocrity? And she's a fat black woman, and why are we having a fat black woman represent us? And this is why our image is so tarnished, and all of these things are being said. And yet, I believe this is a huge distraction. Do I like the fact that these things are being said? No, of course not. Of course not. However, am I going to allow myself to get riled up by some people on the internet over a 12-foot bronze statue when the truth is the supermajority of people that we interact with on a day-to-day basis don't even know this statue exists? This is a big distraction. If you let these things suck you into the vortex, If you let these things suck you into the vortex, if you think that everything is happening online and happening to Black women, are you're going to let it negatively impact your ability to go out and make things happen, or you think as you're talking to somebody that they've seen this statue and they've got something to say about this statue. Most people don't even know this statue exists. Most people don't even know this statue exists. Okay? And I probably am this woman's size, if not a little bit bigger. I don't care about those things. Now, the one thing that I think that the supermajority of people have gotten wrong who have said this specific thing, they said that statues are made of people who have done great things. That's actually not true. There are statues of ordinary people doing ordinary things. The one I think about, I didn't pull it up, but you see the statue of the little girl on Wall Street between the bull and the bear. That's an ordinary girl. You'll see statues of women feeding pigeons in the park or sitting on the park bench, right? So, but even with those things, right? Even with those things, um, this is a huge distraction. Now, I will admit, I'm not a fan of the fact that somebody came from the UK and was commissioned to do this statue. I think it should have been someone in the United States if they were looking for somebody to create a statue, right? There are plenty of people in the United States, plenty of artists in the United States that they could have chosen from. Do I think that the artists could have done something with Black men instead of Black women or Black people or women of different ethnicities? Of course, of course. Yet at the end of the day, I still am here to say to all of you, don't let this distraction get in the way. Just be aware of that. Because the true thing, y'all know, whenever we have a distraction, there's a true piece of information that has come out. And this is from Black Enterprise. The April jobs report, make sure it's on here. Black women lost 106,000 extra jobs in April. So this whole thing with the distraction with the 12-foot Black woman in Times Square is meant to distract you from this. Put a 2 in the chat if you hear me. Put a 3 in the chat if you disagree with me. It's okay. You can disagree. You could say yes, and I'm okay with that. You all can talk to me this evening. It just so happened I was listening to a broadcast and the broadcaster brought up the 12-foot woman. So like, I'll admit, I went to hear what she had to say about the 12-foot woman, and she ended up, the very next story was this story that she talked about. Now, this specific broadcaster makes fun of Black women. So, whatever, right? And she's a Black woman as well. But yeah, this is the story. This is the story. Cat Bravo is saying, whoa, yeah, whoa is right. Cat Bravo is saying, like you said, distraction. I've been working on my business. Yeah, we're too busy working on our businesses, on our degrees, on our certifications, on our networks to be worried about some 12-foot bronze woman in Times Square that's not even going to be there. I think this time next month, just before Juneteenth, they're going to take that statue down anyway. And then what? These 106,000 Black women, are they going to find jobs during that time? Yes, the Trump proposed tax bill, whatever stuff Trump did with China, apparently they came up with an agreement today with regards to the tariffs. There's a whole lot of things we can be paying attention to and should have more of an interest in. So let's read a little bit more about this. New eye-popping data shows what is not often cited in the nation's labor force. Fresh numbers reveal that unemployment for Black workers this year is steadily rising, except for Black women. That means Black men are getting more jobs. Their employment rates are rising, and our employment rates are falling. A disturbing trend was identified in the latest information from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Among other findings, the report disclosed that the jobless rate for Black women rose to 6.1%, a full percentage point surge from March, which was 5.1%. In contrast, ladies, the unemployment rate for white women in April was 3.3%, which was unchanged from March. It was 4.6% for Hispanic women, which is the same as March. So the other women in the other ethnicities, they're not losing their jobs. They're not losing their jobs. And we're worried about some statue. Make this bigger so you all can see it. I apologize for that. We're worried about some statue. The supermajority, sorry, take it back. The number one employer of Black people, especially Black women in the United States, is the government. I've been saying this for a year plus, especially when Trump was elected, that Black women needed to start having like a game plan. This is the story that you should be paying attention to. This is the story that all of our favorite influencers, I'm not going to say anybody's names, doing 2 to 3 hour live streams about some statue in New York. This is the story they need to be focused on. And I understand that Black women have been targeted because of the statue. However, I will ask Black women, do not put yourself in the place to be targeted. What do I mean by that? Stay out of people's comments. If you don't post anything about this story, the chances that somebody is going to direct a comment to you are practically zero. Problem solved. You like the statue, you don't like the statue, whatever. Talk to your girlfriends about it on text message, in a private chat, right? Because other groups of women are not losing. And even Black men, it says it somewhere in here, Black men are getting more jobs. Here it is. It's down here. For Black men, unemployment in April was 5.6%, down from 6.1% in March. The men are getting jobs. We as the women lost a percentage point of jobs in April. And I met with a friend of mine Friday who's losing her job as well. She's losing her job in June. Ladies, I know a lot of you, or a lot of people, let me say a lot of Black women. I won't say a lot of you. A lot of Black women are focused on this statue. This statue is a distraction. It ain't even going to be here in the next, 5 weeks, whenever Juneteenth is. Not even 5 weeks. Flo Jersey is saying, I agree, this is an unnecessary distraction. Personally, I have never had any statue affect me, not even the Statue of Liberty. I just admire the art if I think it's good. I agree with this as well. So I will say this, and this is just a personal thing for me, and I grew up in Louisiana. Ladies, so I'm telling you this as well. I never looked at a statue in the South and felt like Robert E. Lee or whoever was personally against me or anybody in, um, I never felt that the statue was keeping me from excelling, even in Louisiana. So when people, and I'm just going to say Black people or Black women, because I think it was a whole lot of ethnicities in there causing trouble. But when people were demanding that certain statues came down, I was like, how is that going to help you? How is that going to help you? So, in today's language, how is this statue and bringing this statue down and take the statue down? How is that going to help you afford eggs? How is that going to help you afford milk? How is that going to help you afford um, chicken? How is that going to help you go to school? Bringing the statue down, keeping it up. Who cares? Who cares? So, the next thing I want to talk about is this thing with Shiloh Hendricks and Karmelo Anthony. And I should have pulled up the pictures, but I won't. I'm going to assume that you all know the overall story of Karmelo Anthony and the overall story of Shiloh Hendricks. If you don't know, Karmelo Anthony was the young Black teen in Texas that was at a track meet and got into an altercation with another student, a white young man, and ended up stabbing him and killing him. And it's not GoFundMe, but it's some other Gifts and Go, I think is what it's called. Is this new site now that allows people to raise money, and they are not as strict as GoFundMe. So Carmelo Anthony raised over $500,000. And then Shiloh Hendricks is a white woman who was on a playground in Minnesota, I think it is, and she said that a little 5-year-old Black boy, this is what's being reported. I don't have, any like real stories from NBC or any place like that. So I'm just giving you what the internet said, right? Some little 5-year-old autistic boy is uh, took something from her child's diaper bag and she called him the N word, and somebody captured it on tape. And next thing you know, she said she's getting death threats, and she raised, as far as I know, it's over $700,000 now. This on the same website, Give Send Go, right? I'm going to say that this is a distraction as well. This is a distraction as well. Getting involved in this internet race war is a distraction. The best thing for you to do is focus on your skills and your networks and your resources. I will say this as well. I will say this as well. We are going to see over the next probably 10 years, a lot of people raise money that we're going to be shocked raise money for some abhorrent things. I'm telling you right now, it would not surprise me if a PDF file ends up raising big money if it's through Give Send Go or some other website. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Also, as the economy gets worse and people see Shiloh Hendricks, for example, be able to raise as much money as she did, the attacks are going to get much, much worse because people are going to use Shiloh Hendricks' story as a way for them to think, oh, I can raise $1 million too if I'm just worse than Shiloh Hendricks. I'm telling you, be prepared for anything. When I say things are a distraction, that doesn't mean that you don't pay attention. I want you to pay attention to your surroundings. I want you to pay attention to what's happening on. I just don't want you to get sucked into it. But I'm telling you right now, the grifts that are about to happen, this Gifts and Go website that's allowing people to raise money for all sorts of things. The legal defense funds that people are going to be raising money for, the atrocious behavior that people are going to be raising money for, the scamming is about to be at an all time high. And I would not be surprised as well if people start staging stuff, black and white, start staging stuff and say, we'll split the money on the back end. Let's get everybody riled up. And y'all are quiet. Y'all are quiet. That's fine. You can tell me now. If you agree with me, if you disagree, put a 7 in the chat if you want to come up and say anything. I kind of got a little second wind here for the evening. So if anybody wants to come up, you can put a 7 in the chat. I'm telling you right now, people are going to start scamming big time. And I am telling you, there is going to be, because I saw the Gifts and Go founder on Pierce Morgan's show. And I said, this is about to be something where a Black person and a white person are going to get together behind the scenes, say, let's do whatever we're going to do some craziness. And we're going to all be distracted and acting crazy and taking sides. And they're going to be laughing all the way to the bank. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. So, yeah, these things are a distraction. So Samri is here. Hello. Saying she just got off work and she's driving. Well, drive safely, my dear. Kat is saying, LOL, that's dastardly. Unagreeable is here saying, yeah, they're saying a Black guy was working with Shiloh. It's possible, maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I wouldn't put it past anybody. I wouldn't put it past anybody. The amounts of money on both sides. We thought Umar Johnson walked away with a lot of money. I'm telling you, somebody is going to do something, and we're going to be surprised how much money is rolling through. And don't get it twisted. This Gifts and Go company, they get a kickback every time you donate something, because you want to say something, you want to say your piece and you donate money. Gifts and Go gets a piece of that money, just like GoFundMe. The wild, wild west is about to open up. AP is saying, totally agree. Samri is saying, I've noticed there's more scam calls and texts these days. The scamming is going to be at an all-time high. And with AI, ladies, with AI, it's going to be hard for a lot of people to distinguish scamming videos and scamming calls and scamming text messages. People are going to be able to do videos showing all sorts of stuff, and the video is not going to be real. And the laws are probably not going to be able to keep up adequately with the nonsense that's about to happen. But I'm just telling you to stay focused on whatever it is that you're doing. Whatever it is that you're doing. I don't want to end with showing the mess about Karmelo Anthony and Shiloh Hendricks. This is the book that we read last year, and we may need to bring it back. Indistractable by a guy named Nir Eyal. And what he talked about in this book is the fact that there's traction and there's distraction. Distraction takes you away from traction, and traction is basically your goals, whatever it is you're working on, whatever it is you're trying to do. So I'm aware of what happened with the 12-foot statue of the Black woman in New York, but I am not letting it get in my head and get me away from my goals. I'm not going to do it. And whatever your goals are, whatever it is you want to do, well, make it happen. Kat is saying, yes, I never finished it. I got distracted. Yes. Well, hopefully you got distracted with your goals, with whatever it is you're saying you're going to do. So, all right, last chance for people to put a 7 in the chat if you are interested in having a conversation. Otherwise, like I said initially, I didn't want to come and spend too much time because what I had to say was pretty much to the point today. With regards to UMBWs and some of the mess that I'm seeing. So put a 7 in the chat if you want to come in, if come up, if you have anything to say. I'll drop the link. Otherwise, we're going to head on out. Flo Jersey is saying, I agree these funding sites are going to be viewed as the next lottery win for a lot of people. This is true. This is what I'm trying to say to you. This is what I'm trying to say to you. And there are going to be a whole lot of people giving money thinking, oh, I'm doing this because they mess with our race, they mess with our people, they mess with Black women. And they're gonna pull at your heartstrings. And there will be stories of, oh, this was a what do you call it? A setup or a scam. And you may not be able to get your money back at that point. So I'm just warning you. Alrighty then. Well, we don't have anybody who wants to come up. Perfectly fine. I hope I said something tonight that kind of just gets you realigned with regards to everything that's happening and how we as UMBWs can navigate right now. And just be indistractable. Just be on your purpose. You can be aware of things. Definitely be aware of your surroundings. Carry your pew-pew if you're allowed to. All of those things, but don't let these people get in your head. The TikTok algorithm. Oh, speaking of, yes, Trump. Oh, okay. Oh, I don't have the article. I was reading today that part of the negotiations that Trump had with the Chinese was around the midterm elections. Part of the negotiations that Trump had was around the midterm elections and what kind of content and what was going to be happening with the midterm elections. I do think that these algorithms are going to be much more favorable to Republicans during the midterms. Donald Trump, one thing that Donald Trump is not, he is not a stupid man. I don't care what anybody says. The man is not stupid. The man knows that the number one thing that people are going to look at during the midterms is the economy. And right now, the economy still isn't doing great, and people are going to blame him. He can pretend like people aren't going to blame him all they want, all he wants, but people are going to blame him. So if you read the articles, they didn't go into it in depth, but they did mention it, that one of the negotiated points with China in this whole tariff thing was about the midterm elections that are coming up. I'm telling you, be alert in any way possible, by any means possible. There was an article that just came out that said that the conservatives and the right or whoever it is are leaning towards having women who are young, thin, fertile, and Republican. That's what it was. Thin, fertile, and Republican, right? And we're talking about the statue here. We're talking about the statue. And one of the things that kept coming up with the statue is, why are Black women so fat? I think there are going to be a lot, wouldn't surprise me. Well, take a step back, say 50-50 chance. 50-50 chance that there's going to be a huge campaign for Black women to start losing weight. huge campaign for Black women to start losing weight. And a lot of the algorithms that are kicking up dust about this are going to come, the content is going to come from Black men. And I'm not saying you shouldn't lose weight. I think that we should all be healthier. I'm just saying, understand that everything that the algorithm gives you, whether it's on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or whatever, it is because they want to put certain things and certain messages out. All I'm saying is be aware of everything. Be aware of everything. Purple Rain is saying, yeah, I was just planning on what kind of skills I want to add to my arsenal. Yes, girl, you should. Yes, girl, you should. Salute to Alonzo. Alonzo, thank you so much for attending my investing seminar earlier today. Purple Rain is saying, do you think it will actually work? Really? Absolutely. You're talking about the election thing, right? The midterm elections? Yep. Yep. Or are you talking about Black women losing weight and a real campaign for Black women to lose weight? Yes, I think it would work because Black women are obsessed with relationships. And if we get enough buzzing around, especially from men we like, if we get enough buzzing around from men we like that, oh, yeah, you should lose weight. You should lose 30 pounds, 40 pounds, 50 pounds. Tighten it up, ladies. Yeah. Yeah, I think it could work. I do. Purple Rain is saying, I would be surprised if it was coming from Black men. I would not. Only reason I wouldn't be surprised is because if they wanted to work, it would have to come from Black men. Black women are not going to move in mass from white men or white women telling us to lose weight, but we would move in mass from Black men telling us to lose weight. And the lose weight is not going to be lose weight or I'm going to go get a white woman. No. It's going to be lose weight because we care about you and we want you to be sexier and we want to get married and we want to have kids and we want to have families. Yep. Cat Bravo saying stay very true. Purple Rain is going to stay alert. Purple Rain is saying Black women being pushed to lose weight. Yeah. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Alonzo is in here. What kind of trouble am I in? Yes, ma'am. I wish I knew about it earlier. I would have shared it to more audience. So thank you so much. Yeah. We're going to be doing those weekly. So Purple Rain is saying it does explain why Black men really like weave. You're so wrong. You were so wrong. Okay, last chance. I'll give people another chance. Put a 7 in the chat if anybody wants to come up. Otherwise, you're really going to wrap it up for today. Purple Rain is a mess. But yeah, ladies. Yeah, Alonzo saying, as a Black man, please let me know when you find more of those brothers who want to actually improve. I didn't say they wanted to improve, Alonzo. I didn't say they wanted to improve. I said they're going to be putting up content to tell us to improve, and just physically, right? We still going to go down the path of why are Black women getting degrees and all of that. So, Reverend is saying these are true statements. Yes. So I try to come here with something that I don't hear other people saying, and I don't spend all my time on YouTube or on the internet, but I try to come here and say things that I don't hear other people saying or deliver the information to you in a way that other people aren't delivering it. Sometimes I have a hard time thinking of a topic because I don't want to just regurgitate what everyone else is saying. I want to actually come and add value to your lives. So tonight, though, actually yesterday, I knew I was going to talk about this because it had been bothering me. It had been bothering me between Shiloh Hendricks and Karmelo and this New York statue thing. It just been bothering me. So fortunately, I was able to come tonight and give you all a little word. Flo Jersey saying, I believe the White House report on how to get more women to have children comes out this week. That will be interesting. Oh, I didn't know that. We might have to do a special live because I want to see what they say. I want to see if they're going to actually come out with anything worthwhile. If it's anything based on the previews that they dropped, uh, they're not going to be successful. They're not going to be successful. Now, I did see earlier today that they let the white South Africans come because they are refugees now. And they're being discriminated against in South Africa. I did see that. I did see that. I think that's very interesting. I think a lot of things about South Africa, but I also know that I am not from South Africa. And I don't know how I would react if I lived in South Africa during apartheid and if I lived in South Africa today. But I pay attention. I think certain things are very interesting. And I just keep my eyes and ears open. So, all right, ladies, thank you so much for being here this evening. Don't forget to hit the like button. Hit the like button on the way out. And I will talk to you ladies soon. Take care. Bye-bye.